Paano ba gumawa ng radio script para sa radio-based instruction for teachers? Pag-usapan natin yan in this video. Hello everyone, this is Sir Z once again and I congratulate you kasi nakarating ka dito sa part 3 ng ating discussion about radio-based instruction for my fellow teachers. Last time pinag-usapan natin ang iba't ibang treatments sa paggawa ng script tulad ng dialogue na may kasama ka or dramatic approach at iba pa. And this time we will be talking about the radio broadcasting script. So radio broadcasting script or radio script refers to the written material which indicates verbal and non-verbal action that has to go into the radio program. Kailangan nilang malaman, I'm talking about the production crew at saka si Direct, kung ano yung mga sasabihin mo para masundan kanila, and non-verbal action, kung ano ba yung plano mo during specific parts ng iyong script tulad ng music, effects, visuals, and so on. It tells us broadcasters what to do and say and when and how. Importance of radio script, this is to ensure technical accuracy of information. Dino-double check yan. Quality control or QA yan. So before you're going to use your script for broadcast, we make sure na tama lahat ang information na ibinigay natin, complete and concrete, to ensure continuity of the program or flow and to maximize airtime. Tulad ng iba't ibang treatments sa paggawa ng script, there are also different types of scripts. We have scripts for news, interview, spots or plugs, for dramas in case dramatic approach ang iyong gagawin. We also got magazine program tulad ng mga pinapanood natin sa television about food, fashion, tourism, and so on. And we also have documentary. Things to remember in radio script writing. Number 1, i-double or triple space ang pangalinya and paragraph because kailangan matulungan kayo ng inyong script in case kung sakaling kailangan yung silipin siya dahil kung dikit-dikit ang mga lines, mahirap hanapin yung part kung saan kayo nalito or nakalimutan. Type copy in big letters so the newscaster can easily read it. Dalawang situation po yan. Number 1 is kung gumagamit ng teleprompter, kailangan malalaking letra kasi malayo yung teleprompter from the teacher broadcaster. So dapat the letters are big enough para mabasa niya yung nasa harapan niya. Doon naman sa papel, sa script, kung hawak natin script, para madali rin natin siyang basahin na hindi na natin kailangang ilapit pa ito sa ating mukha. All spoken lines should be typed in sentence case format. Dapat proper ang kanyang forms. Big letters sa umpisa, small letters for the rest, syempre capital letters for the nouns and other names. All instructions and non-spoken lines should be typed in big capital letters. So lahat ng non-verbal cues or instruction, kailangan naka-capital letter yan. In fact, sa mga scripts namin, pinipersonalize namin yan, iniiba namin ang kulay, bino-bold face namin. Basta dapat kapag instruction ang nakalagay sa script, hindi yung verbal mong sasabihin, kailangan naka-capital letters ang mga yan para madaling ma-identify na sila ay hindi part ng iyong spiel. Have a duplicate of each copy. Of course, you should have your own copy and some copies prepared for your production staff and also the director. Make each sentence a paragraph. As much as possible, huwag kang gumawa ng malalaking paragraph. One sentence is enough as a paragraph. I-move mo na yung next para hindi ka mahirapan sa pagbabasa at hindi mahirapan ang crew mo sa pagsunod sa'yo. Write a page number on each script and each page with a paragraph before using another paper. Huwag kang magpuputol ng from one page going to the next kasi mapuputol din po ang iyong pag-deliver. Make your script clean, short, and simple. Huwag na natin pahirapan. Madaling maintindihan at madaling ma-deliver. Do not use words which are hard to pronounce. Ikaw rin ang mahihirapan kasi ikaw magdi-deliver. So during the time na ginagawa mo yan, i-double check mo. And when you do your rehearsal at meron kang na-encounter na word or words na nagbaluktot ang iyong dila, palitan mo na lang yan ng mga words na madaling ma-pronounce ng iyong dila dahil baka pumalya ka during live broadcast. Don't text write. Of course, huwag ka nag-shortcut. Mas maganda, actual na pagsasalita mo ang sinusulat mo. That's why I said, do not compose, you transcribe. Transcribe means you talk and you type rather than you think and you type and then later on pag nag-talk ka na, hindi pala madaling i-deliver yung mga sinulat mo. Break down long sentences for readability. If you can divide that into 2 sentences or 3 sentences kung sobrang haba para mas madaling i-deliver each sentence, gawin mo. Attribute the source of your news at the beginning or at the end of your news. Use conversational words. Huwag kang mag-compose again. Huwag kang mag-compose because pag nag-compose tayo nagiging parang creative writing ang ating script. It should be conversational ang dating. Avoid this, that, the former, the latter, and so on. If you are referring to someone or something, you need to identify that on your script dahil there are cases na baka kahit binanggit mo na yan kanina ay hindi maalala na nakikinig or maybe hindi niya narinig yung pangalan nung sinasabi mo kanina. So, kailangan lagi mong babanggitin or at least i-identify mo kung sino ang iyong tinutukoy. Avoid sibilants or words with hissing sounds kasi pangit po yan sa audio. In fact, right now, kahit ako sigurado, during editing ay maririnig ko yung mga hissing sounds sa ilan sa mga sinasabi ko. So as much as possible, after you have created your script, rehearse it and then proofread it. Tingnan mo kung ano yung mai-improve pa. Use adjectives with care. Ingatan ang paggamit ng mga descriptive words because sometimes baka meron tayong ma-offend or hindi applicable or hindi tugma sa ating tinutukoy. Do not string together a collection of ideas with and. Sentences should be kept short. When you create a sentence, it should be containing one idea only. So if there is another one that you would like to connect to that, include that in your next sentence. Keep subject and verb close together and use active rather than passive voice or verb. Parang ongoing, it's always current. Round off figures or numbers. That will help you make it easier kapag ikaw ay nagde-deliver ng mga numbers. But if it is about science and technical stuff, kailangan specific ang numbers. But as much as possible, kung pwede naman na generalize, i-round off mo na lang ang figures sa iyong script. Write out symbols and fractions. Ikaw kasi yung magde-deliver, ikaw yung magbabasa, familiar ka naman. Do it because ikaw ang magde-deliver. Kahit sabihin ng mga QA mo na dapat ganito, ganyan-ganyan, ikaw ang mahihirapan kung hindi ka sanay. Avoid abbreviations on certain things. Kailangan mong ibigay ang actual information or correct information. Pag in-abbreviate mo, there is a possibility na either meron siyang katulad na abbreviation or maybe hindi nila alam yung ibig sabihin ng abbreviations na binigay mo. Provide phonetic spellings for unfamiliar words or jargons. That is for you. Baka magkamali ka ng pag-pronounce sa mga words na hindi familiar sa'yo at susundin mo yung spelling. Yung pala yung actual pronunciation ay iba pala. Katulad ng reservoir. That is how it is spelled but it is pronounced as reservoir. Diba? O kaya naman na yung coup d'etat pag nakasulat, pero pag pronounce pala ay coup d'etat. Speech has rhythm and should be applied in writing a script. Walang pattern, but there is a rhythm. Ito yung tuloy-tuloy na flow ng iyong pagsasalita. So, wag mo namang gawing parang nagra-rhyme. Ang ibig sabihin lang niyan ay tuloy-tuloy ang pagsasalita dahil ganun naman ang normal na pakikipag-usap natin, di ba? So, speech has rhythm and should be applied in writing a script to make it as normal as possible. Key repetitive statements would help the listeners get the message. Repeat if necessary because sometimes you need to stress out on a word or a phrase or an information para ma-focus ang attention nila on that particular part ng iyong discussion or ng iyong sinabi. Timing is the key on this one because you don't need to repeat everything. Dun lang sa mga pinaka-importanting parts or kailangang i-focus out, you repeat it effectively. Now, this time we go to writing script for radio broadcast. When a scriptwriter writes for radio, he follows the 6 C's. It should be clear or malinaw. Number 2 is concise or it should be exact. Conversational, so it should be natural na para ka lang nakikipag-usap sa iyong audience. Complete, so dapat walang missing pieces. Hindi na dapat kailangan ng follow-up dahil kompleto ang iyong present. Current na panahon or eksakto sa kanilang pinag-aaralan on that particular schedule, and correct, walang mali because hindi dapat tayo magbigay ng information na mali dahil kung ano maririnig nila sa atin, yun ang kanilang paniniwalaan, yun ang kanilang tatandaan at yun ang kanilang gagamitin. So the basic process in radio script writing, what we have here is actually the step-by-step process sa paggawa ng isang script. The first one is to get a good briefing, know your listeners. Kilalanin mo ang sarili mo so that you will know how you will present your item. But at the same time, know your listeners so that it will be applicable and effective para sa kanila ang iyong performance. And once you're done identifying you and your listeners, do research about the topic. I know lahat tayo nagbabase lang sa module na binigay sa atin, but you have the responsibility as an educator to broaden and enrich the knowledge and understanding of your learners. Add more substantial information, more important facts and details so that mas maraming matututunan mula sa iyo ang iyong mga estudyante maliban sa mga bagay na nakasulat sa kanilang module. The next thing is to prepare content outline. So you have your materials, you have your resources, you have your research. So do your outline from start to finish. And once you have laid out yung kanilang mga pwesto, write the first draft. So bubuin mo na ang iyong script. But like I said, do not compose. Try to talk in front of the mirror. And then kapag meron ka nabanggit na isang line na maganda, isulat mo yan dahil later on, you can proofread it and you can improve it. Read it aloud. Pagkatapos mong magsulat, basahin mo. Tingnan mo kung natural ba ang pagsasalita gamit yung script na sinulat mo. Kung hindi, i-revise mo yan. Kung merong mahirap i-pronounce, kung medyo parang magulo or you're beating around the bush, visualize the script. Imaginein mo na actual ka nagpe-perform. Maganda ba yung napanood mo sa iyong imagination? If not, go back to your script and review the script. And for the last one, revise for style, correct timing, and accuracy. Tingnan mo kung kailangan mong i-adjust yung mga details and also the timing and yung haba ng iyong script. And speaking of timing, ito ang timing in newscast program. So the basic timings are 5 minutes para sa newscast program, 1 minute and 30 seconds para sa mga ads and infomercials, 10 seconds for the station ID, ito yung umpisa, and then 30 seconds for the intro, bumpers, and teasers. The remaining 2 minutes and 50 seconds apportion to the news stories of the day during your broadcast. And this is of course for newscast program. Iba yung sa atin. I mentioned the bumpers, teasers, and also there is what we call the billboard. Bumper, ano ba yung bumper? It is used between the news and commercial breaks. Tells the listeners that there is going to be a short break but more news coming up. Ito yung bago magko-commercial, konting sasabihin para alam ng mga audience mo na ikaw ay babalik. So wag silang maglilipat ng channel. Example, we'll be back with more news after these few reminders from our sponsors. Okay ba? How about the teaser? The teaser is used to stimulate curiosity so that listeners will stay tuned to hear what it is all about. Ito yung parang sa dyaryo na headline, yung pinakaumpisa na sinasabi ng broadcaster bago niya ibabalita or i-discuss mamaya sa actual na discussion or presentation. Example, waling-waling to replace sampaguita as national flower. So yun yung teaser and then mamaya i-present na yung actual news or yung discussion. And then we have the billboard, usually at the end after the news, reminds listeners of what product sponsors the said news. Ito na yung dinadagdag natin kung meron tayong mga sponsors. Pwedeng actually ito ay nasa gitna or mas madalas nasa dulo. Example ito is, this news is brought to you by Mang Pedro's Lechon Manok. Busog ka na, gutom ka pa. Alright. So let's go now to format in writing a radio script, standard format. So meron tayong tinatawag na title page. Ito yung nasa ibabaw ng script. So alam ko, meron na kayong mga sample script. Ito yung nasa taas title page. We have the program title, format, station. Pero of course, iba-iba naman ang way natin dyan kasi depende yan sa organization natin. So iba yung format ng script namin sa isang organization. Tapos kung member pa ako ng ibang organization, iba rin yung title page namin. On our case, sa RTB Project Shine namin, this is an example ng aming actual script. And then we have also another one mula naman sa aming Harona South District. Shout out sa inyo, Harona South District. Title page namin, na yan naman na nakalagay. Meron talagang pinaka-title sa taas. So mapapansin nyo, dalawang actual organizations yung pinakita ko, magkaiba. So depende yan sa inyong organization. Ito naman yung sample SOA script. So yung makakita nyo, meron siyang header or title page sa taas. This is actually yung unang format namin. Yung every line is numbered, but we change it to the suggested script format. Yung merong column. We have time estimate, and then we also have what we call the technical instructions. Yan yung sasabihin mo kung ano mangyayari sa music or ano yung makikita sa screen, sound effects, audio effects, and then we have what we call the spiel or yung iyong sasabihin during your broadcast. Kung mapapansin nyo dito, merong naka-highlight yung salitang guro. Ano ba ang ibig sabihin yan? Bakit merong nakalagay na ganyan at bakit naka-bold face? Yan ay ang tinatawag na role. Ginagamit yan sa mga treatment elements na there is more than one teacher, broadcaster, or character. For example, you are doing dramatic approach at marami kang characters, kailangan ma-identify sa role kung sino yung nagsasalita, sino yung susunod na salita, at kailan sila magsasalita. Also used for dialogue approach wherein merong mahigit isang teacher, broadcaster. Kung wala ka namang kasama, you can just identify yourself at the beginning and then the rest, dire-diretso na lang because ikaw lang naman talaga nagsasalita niyan. So, format in writing a radio script, some terms to remember from music, background music. So, ito naman ay aking mga recommendation sa inyo doon sa technical instruction when it comes to music. Pag sinabing fade in, ito ay yung walang music and then unti-unting lumalakas yung volume or nagkakaroon ng music background. Pag fade out naman, meron kang music background tapos unti-unting mawawala. Kapag fade under, meron kang music background and then kailangan bumaba yung volume para ikaw ay marinig habang nagsasalita ka. Nandyan pa rin yung music sa iyong background pero mababang volume para maintindihan yung pagsasalita mo. Pag sustain 4 naman, hindi magbabago yung volume. Pag music up, ito naman yung ginagamit na pang-effect, yung biglang tataas ang volume. So yun ang ginagamitan ng mga terms na ito pagdating sa music or background music. So, structure of a radio-based instruction. These are the flow or structure of your radio-based instruction. You start with the objective and then the importance and then you give an overview and then you present and then you summarize and then you test. I have here a sample SOA format for a 30-minute lesson and I believe during the seminar or webinar, hindi ko na maalala kung saan or kailan ito ay ginagamit ng UP Diliman. Kung mapapansin nyo, it's a 30-minute lesson and they have something what we call musical break here. Puro introduction, teaser lang sa taas para preparation and then they'll have a musical break for 2 to 3 minutes. Pagkatapos nun, magsisimula na yung actual section. So 1 minute for program opening or intro and then they have the feedback portion or yung nagdi-discussion sila about the comments or yung narinig or maybe there are questions that need to be answered from previous episodes. So ginagawa namin po yan sa Itulay when we start our program. And then we have a review of previous lesson, that's 5 minutes. And then musical break na, mag-ready na yung mga learners. Lecture for the day, brief review of the day's lessons. At the end, 2 minutes, announcement reminders dahil baka merong mga announcement na kailangang isali dyan sa iyong broadcast. And then your extra or when you say goodbye. Tune in again next week for another episode. Actually, dito ko lang nakita yung musical break and it's good. You may not able to do this on other organizations, but we can definitely do this sa ating sariling school-based radio. So we have the story tags in news, scriptwriting, the final step to indicate that the story has ended or has more details in the next page. Put 3 hashtags at the end of the page to indicate that the story is ended or put more at the end of the page to let the anchor knows that there is another page. Ito yung nasa ibaba ng page. More, ibig sabihin may susunod pa. Kapag 3 hashtag naman, tapos na. But we actually use the word end. Number 2, if you must split a story in 2 pages, never break a sentence. Huwag mong hahatiin ang sentence mo or paragraph mo from page 1 tapos tatawid to page 2. Kasi magkakaroon ng break sa iyong delivery. So you need to complete whatever you need to say on the last part of page 1 and then start anew on the top of page 2. Radio script outline, we have station ID or ito yung opening. Time check, ito yung sasabihin mo kung anong oras na. News plug, intro, of course, yung opening mo. Headlines, details of your discussion or presentation. And finally, the extra or your closing spiel. And that is all about layouts, formats, and styles in writing your script. Hopefully, ay meron kayong napulot na konting ideas lang that will help you out improve your script for your teacher broadcasting. And that is how we can make radio script for radio-based instruction for teachers. And for the next video, we will be talking about tips to a better teacher broadcaster. If you found some value from this video na nakatulong sa inyong pagsulat ng script and so on, please do hit that like button and consider subscribing para next time may makakasama ko kayong muli sa susunod nating episode about radio-based instruction for teachers. And once again, this is Sir Z from Teach Train Transform. Continue to be creative, stay safe. See you in the next video. And for the meantime, class dismissed.